Well, our situation on the web before Cazbah was virtually non-existent. It was a hope, a dream, but never a reality. The situation has changed with our web presence in the fact that it probably represents 30% of our business. The alternatives outside of the Cazbah deal was any number we talked about was well into 5 digits and no guarantees. That was entry level, and then go on from there. So it seemed like a big financial black hole that we would be jumping into. Whereas when Cazbah brought their proposal in, it was a flat fee, and they answered all the questions on the front end, saying, okay, for X amount of dollars, we'll get you up on the web running, and we've had first page presence, and as I said earlier, it's brought us probably 30% of our business. The first year, the first 3 quarters of the year, we joined up in March. First 3 quarters of the year was learning the system, data input, figuring out what we're going to do, put it on first page, fine-tuning the website, and the orders were coming in slowly. You could see growth. What was really nice about it is most of the orders, and I mean like 98% of the orders, were outside of our existing sales territory. Previously, our business model was a industrial distributorship in the Philadelphia area, which covered roughly a radius of 150 miles from Philadelphia, which took us to Washington, D.C., Hagerstown, Maryland, New York City, period. And now we see orders from Japan, Germany, China. We're selling products to China. Cazbah has displayed an absolute vested interest in the business. There's always, if Cazbah, their customer service reps, Mike in this case, hasn't heard from me, he usually gets in touch with me. Like, what's going on? Just general conversation. What can we do? Anything from email blast ideas, just always brainstorming some ideas, you know, which is really good because it gets me thinking, and you know, brings my thinking about the website up to the forefront again, which is where it should be, because that's where our growth is going to be. Our contacts from our customers are mostly via the phone and emails. It's the repeat customer is the most gratifying part of this I've seen. Build up some faceless friends, as you do in this type of business, via emails, via phone calls, and whatever. They're calling for technical assistance all the time. May not turn into an order, but 3 months later, the guy's calling, reminding me of our conversation, and bang, an order comes out of it. So communications and orders are mostly via phone and email. But I'd say easily 75 to 100 contacts a week is what we're seeing. Our quote requests have increased, probably 4 or 5-fold since prior to having our web presence, and probably more gratifying is the fact that we're probably locking down 50% of those quotes, 60% of those quotes. That's the nicest thing outside of selling to China. Our leads are far more qualified in the fact, and I have to give kudos to the customer service, Vicki and Mike back at Cazbah, because they're the ones who looked at our cross-section of everything we sold and said, okay, you're an expert in torque. We're going to focus on torque and our torque and torque tools, and we're going to make it look like you are the experts, which you are. And that's where the whole thing, and then there's a few peripheral items that sit out on the side. I think that's what's driven most of the phone calls and whatever. People are getting the impression that, okay, we've been in this business 52 years, driving screws and nuts and bolts and that type of thing. Maybe they do know something. We've recommended Cazbah to quite a few small businesses, one locally, which I think probably signed a contract with Cazbah. Yeah, we've gotten a terrific value out of the relationship, both intrinsically and financially. Everything seems to flow so nicely with the credit card processing, the communications with the customers, and communication with Cazbah. Just adds a little tweak to the business that we really enjoy. I think I'd be considered a delighted customer and recommend Cazbah to many others.